So I've messed up on two occasions. First of all, I broke my camera last night. It was on a tripod, balanced quite safely. Somehow I knocked it over in the blink of an eye, and now it's broken. The lens is all bent, and I've sent it back to be repaired, so I'm waiting another 2 weeks to get that back, I reckon. On top of that, I've used the wrong plaster to repair the wall on the right hand side. So basically, I've used red plaster here to repair this, but for a bathroom wall it's not recommended. I was reading the small print on the side of the tub last night to see how long I have to wait for it to dry before I can waterproof it and move on with the tiling. But it says quite clearly, not suitable for bathrooms and shower walls, bath walls, that kind of thing. What you're supposed to use, of course, is a cement and sand render, which is what was originally behind here. Well, that took just over half an hour to remove all of that. A bit more of the paint on this side down here, where it was loose. This is my Friday night. I hope yours is less labour intensive. The render I'm using to repair this wall comes in a ready mixed tub. All you've got to do is add some water and give it a stir. It's also important to dampen the wall before applying the new render. If you don't apply the water, then the sand and the salts in the wall basically absorb all the moisture and the glue from your mix, so it doesn't stick basically. I've had to allow this render to dry for a couple of weeks. You'll see here I've already coated this wall with the primer, and down here maybe you can just see the shine on this aqua panel board. I'm using tile adhesive to bed these joints in because it's cement based, and the tape I'm using is actually this mesh here. All you do is you cut off the length that you need and you bed it into the adhesive as I have done. And for doing internal corners, just like down there, the great thing is there's no adhesive backing to this, so you can fold it in half once you've cut your length off. Press that into the corner and bed it in very neatly. I'm just getting ready to start tiling. You can see I've made two plumb lines down here for the outside and here on the inside. This one here marks the edge of the second tiles. In the inside here we have to square them to fit because they're slightly too wide as they are. The good news though, the So with a 3mm spacer here on the bottom and 3mm space in between each tiles, it should just about work out and line up perfectly with the existing tiles higher up. Some like to put these spacers in this way so it sits in the grout when you finish, but I don't like doing that. I like doing it so you can take them out again afterwards. And my own belief is that if this is in there, then there's less room for the grout to get in there. So, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but it's a weaker joint you're doing at the end. So here you can see my progress on the second wall so far. I'm up to about the same level. The good news here, though, I don't have to scribe the corner because it finishes more or less flush with this edge. The downside is these tiles I'm using now are slightly smaller than the originals, so there's going to be a slightly larger gap around here. I should realise ahead of time that these tiles were slightly smaller than the originals because I've now got a substantial gap to fill. Short of moving the whole work and redoing it all with different tiles, I'm thinking maybe I could buy something hopefully the same width but slightly longer, just cut them to size. So I've been out and bought some larger tiles, and the idea here is I can get two from each one there and one there, and use the length there to scribe it to fit. I'm also going to start wearing disposable gloves because my hands are getting really dry with the cement-based adhesive. Shit. Phew. I'm not at all happy with this. It's not working out as I'd hoped. For one thing, these tiles are much thicker in the centre. They've got beveled edges, which are the same thickness, but that's irrelevant because that's no good at all. When I come to put the shower back on here, it's not going to fit flush. So there's nothing else left for it. I'm going to have to rip all this off, buy some more tiles and do it properly. Okay, so last night I walked away, thought about it, bought some new tiles, some more adhesive, and here we are on the next morning. It's not a perfect job, as you can see right there. I rushed into it earlier. I should have started from this line here, but I started from over here. These tiles are 1 millimetre larger this time than the existing ones, not 2 mil smaller. So with 2 mil spacings rather than 3 mil. I'm a little bit closer to where I was, but again I come off the wrong line. For the most part it worked out fine with the new tiles. These final 2 rows here are the original, not the original, the smaller tiles I bought first of all, the 148mm ones. It just about fitted that gap perfectly with, and I've got 3mm, 3mm, but 2mm for the rest of it, and again 3mm on the width to make it try and match up with what's there. There's a slight discrepancy, I think it's just there, you can see it in the vertical lines. Apart from that, it's hard to notice, I think. Okay, so I've now officially finished tiling. I had to replace one more tile over here, which is hanging off the wall, but apart from that, the rest looks fine.